Okay, so if you haven't watched the little clip about the photographers first, stop the video, go back and do that, and then come back. Assuming you have, I'm not going to talk about this very long, but this actually came up in the seated version of this class the other day, and I wanted to kind of give you guys the same information. So the first day of class, we were talking about what is art, and I had them come up with their definitions, kind of like you guys did in the discussion board, and they wrote them up on the board, and we talked about it. And we were talking about how some things could be art in some instances, but not in others, and photography was the example we were using. Like, I made the comment that, the selfie that you take, or the picture, if you're like me and you have a cute kid and you take pictures of them, put them on Facebook or whatever, that's not art, right? And a couple students are like, well, it could be. Why not? Why is it not art? So I think that video, I've actually used it in acting class to look at stereotypes and character, all this kind of stuff. It's just an interesting video, I think, how they put on him what they think he is, right? But to me, that's a good example of how photography becomes art. Because if you and I, even if we had a big fancy camera, and if you're an actual photographer, I'm not talking about you, I'm just talking about regular schmo, we take a picture of that dude, it's going to look like a picture of anybody, that we'd take of a friend, family, put on Facebook, print, whatever. It's just going to look like a picture of a person that somebody took. So why is it that theirs are different? And it has to do with the lenses that they're using, the positioning that they put him in, the way they frame him in the, like there was one of them that was, he was just barely in the frame down to the corner. And I think if you didn't know which photographer had done which one, you could look at all 6 of those pictures and say, well, that was the one who thought he was a this, that was the one who thought he was that, because you can tell from those pictures what character they thought they were photographing. So art elevates reality. It intensifies it. It makes it, it crystallizes it into something larger than life and communicates beyond what would just be an ordinary photograph. I hope that makes sense. Art is a way we sort of interpret the world around us, the way we figure out what we think about things, the way we communicate what we think and we feel. An artist observes something in the world and says, I think we need to address this, and so they make a movie about it or write a book or paint a painting or whatever it is. And so I think those photographers are good examples of how they weren't just taking a picture so you could see what the guy looked like. They were telling a story. They were trying to communicate a message and an idea, and that's what makes it art as opposed to just a photograph that somebody took. So I hope my seated students thought that was a great example, and so I hope that's helpful to you guys as well. That the idea is, kids can draw a picture, and it's nice, but art has to be something a little bit more. It has to be something where the artist has an intention. They're trying to send a message, communicate something, show us life in this very pure form, whatever it is. We were talking about reality television, and you guys actually will be talking about that this week in the discussion board about whether reality television is art or not. And somebody made the comment the other day that reality television isn't real. Well, of course it's not real. Real life is pretty boring, right? Like today, I picked my son up from daycare after work. We came home, we had dinner, we, played a couple games, it's not very exciting. And so if you really just put people together in a house and said, okay, we're going to record you, probably wouldn't be all that interesting without them instigating, without them creating storylines and framing it and all of the things they do that make reality television not really reality. Okay? So, hope that helped. And I'm going to stop this one and record the next one about Apollonian Dionysian analysis. And if you have any questions about this or the others or anything else, just let me know.